This is the last chapter of Dr. Reed's Smartphone Paradox. It's chapter 8. It's called Conclusion. I feel like it's a very fitting name. Obviously, it's the conclusion of the book, but I feel like it fits very well. And one of the main reasons is opposed to the normal articles that are, or sorry, the normal chapters that are warning us of situations, including tech companies, app developers, just personal use warnings and stuff. It kind of gives us solutions and doesn't paint technology out as the main perpetrator for these addictions, but kind of points us out as a problem and gives us solutions. Now, the primary bulk of the chapter is talking about mindfulness. It gives a bunch of examples talking about phone regulation and all that stuff throughout the chapter, but it's more about use and how we should view it, not only in our social settings but potentially school settings. Then was not such a big thing. Now, obviously, it's allowed, and also about how we use phones in a pretty unhealthy manner. And one of those things was about how easy it is to pick up a phone without thinking about it. And there's a bunch of things that are probably subconscious that lead to that uncomfortability in social situations. Um, Expecting a text, something like that. But for a lot of us, it's an automatic response. And instead of allowing us to be controlled by these devices, in this chapter, he basically says, let's flip the script and let us be the ones in control of not only our lives, but our technology use and the phones in general. And part of this is because he believes that technology is not a one medium that once it's happened and it's gone forward, the addiction started, it can't be stopped now. He does not believe that. He believes that, like pretty much all technology, it can be regulated, it can be changed, and you can regress in those stages. Now, he gave a couple solutions to help that regression. One of them is basically meditating, finding a quiet place, just thinking about like how you feel without your phone in the 2 minute span that you take not opening your phone or looking at it. Some other ways he gave us ideas on how to help with this was designating technology free areas. So, as it was mentioned in the podcast that we listened to with the girl talking, I couldn't remember the name of it, but she was talking about having technology free areas within your home, within your workplace, to prevent you from being on your phone doom scrolling everywhere 24/7. Another example he gave was blocking times for deliberate use of certain phones. So, say I want to play some games on my phone today, but I don't want to get stuck on it. I want to play Candy Crush for 40 hours today. I'm going to create a time block, and I'm not going to exceed that time. You could probably go under, but you basically have time set up for everything: social media, messages, emails, games, and just keep yourself tracked and allow yourself to become more aware. This is more a mindfulness tool, but keeping yourself aware of the situations you're in and your usage time, and more where it's delivered to. There's three other ways he gave to help with this. The first being tracking your smartphone usage and setting goals. That's pretty simple. That's basically what we're doing in the Technology Mindfulness Project. Turn off device notifications. Me personally, I only have messages on, and most recently Snapchat, and that's for group projects. The more I have, the more stressed out I get. And just clear your everything. Go through and make sure that I'm not saying get rid of your apps, but get rid of stuff that deliberately takes your attention that you're just not okay with, but you can't let go, you know? And a good bulk of the second half, or mid to second half of the article, is talking about how we need to set ourselves up and teach the younger generation to obviously help us in the future. And I like to think of how he explained it like gun safety. You teach a kid how to safely use something so they don't get hurt in the future. And compared to when I was a child, and obviously when a lot of other people were children, that technology was not as easy to access. For me, it was a computer at my grandma's house. That's the only way I saw technology. Now everybody has technology. Every child from the age of one to their entire lifetime do. So explaining the situations and what they should be looking for and worried about while exploring the internet and using technology is very important, especially if you want to develop a culture in the future that can work hand in hand with technology instead of being used by it. And near the end, it kind of focuses on reclaiming that control we have back. Outside of the examples given, he kind of explains that phones aren't just a boat message system. You don't just message from it, it's a tool. And they could be helpful, but it's a dual edged sword that can also be harmful. And if we're constantly reacting to things, we're never really living in the real world. We're not living the way we want to do on our terms. And if we create space by being more aware, uh, primarily why we're using our phone, even just stopping to, every time you open your phone, why am I opening my phone? That's enough of information and situation to be like, okay, maybe I don't need to get on my phone that day. And that's a pretty big idea of that. In the end, it's not really a summary. It's more a call to people, not a call for help, but a call of inspiration to conclude to make people take their lives back. That we're not powerless just because we have been set in a culture of addiction to technology does not mean we're set in a culture of addiction. We could change that. It's not permanent. And phones aren't the enemy. I like that in this chapter it kind of switched from tech companies being the enemy, technology being the enemy. We are the enemy. We are the one that should be taken responsible for what we have done. And of course, we can fall victim to purposely engineered designs. We also have control over who we are as it's our lives. Um, so the more we pay attention to this and be more mindful of our situation, the more life that we can live ourselves. And I think it's a great conclusion. And this is the last vlog. Hope you have a great day.